Hello from the Noel studio. Today's two-part lesson will help prepare you for working with and documenting sources in all your college writing. Module 1 explains when and why we use citations, and Module 2 provides a more in-depth look at a specific documentation style. Consistent citation is an essential part of creating responsible and impactful scholarly work. Let's get started. Module 1, Why We Cite. College writing is a form of academic discourse. This means that when you write about a topic in college, you're actually joining an ongoing conversation among all kinds of people who are also interested in that topic. Just as you would in a regular conversation, it's important to situate your point of view in relation to what you've learned from what others have said. Whether you agree with, disagree with, or want to add to or clarify the ideas of others, it's a sign of respect and understanding to acknowledge their existence and influence on your own thoughts by giving credit to those sources. Most of the writing you'll do in college will require the use of sources. Sources are sites of information that you gather, evaluate, analyze, and synthesize in order to support your ideas and arguments in academic work. Like the roots of a tree, which provide nutrients to help the tree grow healthy and strong, sources provide the necessary substance to your work to help you develop the points, reasons, and conclusions that give life to your own thoughts and ideas about a topic. Some common sources that you might use include articles from journals or other publications, books, videos, interviews, websites, and many more. Sources that are written by disciplinary experts and peer-reviewed by other experts are called scholarly. These sources are considered highly credible and reliable, and they're usually a little bit harder to find. Other sources, called popular sources, can be found easily in online searches and elsewhere. They can provide useful information, but you have to analyze them closely for credibility and accuracy before citing them in your own work. There are 3 ways you might use a source. Let's look at some examples. The first and probably most familiar way you might incorporate a source into your writing is by directly quoting it. Direct quotes are best used when the author has phrased something so perfectly that you can't think of a better way to say it. Direct quotes always receive quotation marks because they contain the exact words of the original author. Oftentimes, the sources you read in college will be a little more formal or complex than your own writing style. In these cases, you might need to help your reader understand the text. To do this, paraphrase by putting the quote into your own words while still conveying the original meaning. In other situations, you might not need to refer to a specific example or argument that the author made, but rather to a general idea that you found in the original text. In this case, you can summarize the text by providing an overview of the author's point. Whether you paraphrase, summarize, or directly quote a source, you must always use citations to let your reader know that the information that you're sharing came from somewhere else. You'll cite your sources in 2 main ways. In-text citations are notes that you include in your writing to tell your audience where you found support for your ideas. They're usually added in parentheses after any reference to a source, including a summary, a paraphrase, or a direct quotation. In-text citations are important because they lead the reader to your list of bibliographic citations, which you'll add to the end of your essay to provide additional source information. The bibliographic list of references, sometimes called a work cited or a bibliography or a reference list, provides a complete alphabetical account of all the sources you referenced in your writing. This lets your audience know that you did the research needed to find support for your ideas, and it gives them the opportunity to look into the same sources for their own research purposes. One of the main reasons you must always cite your sources is that it helps build your credibility as an author. Citations are like receipts for your research. They show your reader that you're a trustworthy writer who puts in the work to find meaningful support for your ideas. A second reason that you must always cite your sources is that it helps prevent plagiarism. Citing sources shows that you can distinguish your ideas from those of others. It prevents you from accidentally stealing another person's intellectual property by passing off their words or ideas as your own. Different disciplines and different publications prefer different styles for citations, but they all have the same purpose: to establish credibility and to prevent plagiarism. Your instructors will tell you which style you need to use for each class. Fortunately, there are tons of resources to help you remember the details for each style and how to use them appropriately. Some of the best resources you can use to help you with citations are accessible online. Purdue's online writing lab, called Purdue OWL, has a comprehensive style guide you can use for APA or MLA formats. Another option is to install free citation management software like Zotero or Mendeley for organizing and documenting your sources for a specific project. Online citation generators can be handy, but you do have to use those with caution because they tend to be inaccurate. If you do choose to use a generator, be sure to always proofread your citations against another style guide. There are print handbooks that you can borrow from the library, and of course, you're always welcome to schedule a consultation in the Noel studio for additional support. EKU's academic integrity policy firmly states that students are expected to always give credit to their sources, but that's not the only reason you should get into the habit of citation. Citing sources is an investment in your academic success. It helps you build up your credibility, avoid plagiarism, and become a critical thinker, skilled researcher, and respected scholar. That's why we cite. Now you're ready for the Module 1 Knowledge Check. Stop the video and go to the Citation Basics worksheet. Complete the Module 1 activities before returning here for Module 2. Module 2, MLA. MLA is the style system adopted by the Modern Language Association. Many disciplines in the humanities, such as English, literature, and cultural studies, use this system for document formatting. Like all citation styles, MLA helps users establish credibility, create uniformity, give credit to sources, and organize sources and arguments effectively. MLA formatting requirements include double spacing the lines of text in your document, using 1-inch margins all around, using a standard 12-point font such as Times New Roman or Arial, and creating a heading on the left-hand side of the first page of your document that includes your name, the instructor's name, the course title, and the date. You should also create a header that includes your last name and page numbers to keep your pages organized. MLA uses the author page method for in-text citations. This means that anytime you refer to a source in your writing, whether it's a direct quotation, a paraphrase, or a summary of the original text, you must include a set of parentheses after the reference that contains the author's last name and the page number where you found the information. There is an exception to the rule about including the author's last name in the parentheses. If you name the author in the signal phrase, which is the part of the reference where you prepare your audience for the quote, paraphrase, or summary to come, you do not have to repeat the last name in the parentheses. You do still need to include the page number, however. Other exceptions to the author page method of in-text citations include situations where the source does not have an author listed or does not include page numbers. In these cases, you can use the title of the source in the parentheses to help your audience find the source in your works cited list. In-text citations can also vary slightly depending on the number of authors. For a work by 2 authors, use both last names in the parentheses, separated by the word "and." For 3 or more authors, use the first author's last name followed by the abbreviation et al. The Works Cited page lists all the sources you used in alphabetical order by author's last name. It has hanging indentations, which means that the first line of each citation is flush left and subsequent lines are indented. And it is double-spaced for clarity and ease of reading. Remember that the works cited list must include every source that you referred to in your writing, but must not contain any sources that you did not use. The source information for each citation in the works cited is always listed in the same order. MLA has standardized the format so that you can easily cite any type of source by following the numbered list you see here. When any piece of information is missing, you simply move on to the next item in the list. This helps ensure consistency in all of your citations. Here are the standards. 1. Author's last name, followed by their first, followed by a period. Names should be capitalized. 2. The title of the source, in which every main word should be capitalized. The title should be followed by a period and enclosed in quotation marks. 3. The container in which the source was found. For example, if the source is a journal article, the container would be the journal itself. This title should be capitalized and italicized, followed by a comma. 4. Other contributors, such as editors or translators, followed by a comma. 5. The version number. 6. The issue numbered, each followed by a comma. 7. Publisher information, followed by a comma. 8. The publication date, followed by a comma. And 9. The location information, including the URL or DOI for online sources or the page range for print sources, followed by a period. Most instructors also require that you add an access date for online sources. Way to go! You have learned the essentials of MLA formatting. Remember, you'll get more and more comfortable with citation as you continue doing academic research and writing. And you're not alone. Don't hesitate to reach out for extra help when you need it. Resources like the Purdue OWL or the MLA website can help you with tricky sources, and you can always book a consultation in the studio to receive more one-on-one assistance. Now you're ready for the Module 2 knowledge check. Stop the video and go to the Citation Basics worksheet. Complete the Module 2 activities and submit your work to your instructor. You can always come back to the video if you need a clarification or reminder. Good luck with your writing and your citing. Bye!